Hello everyone and welcome back to Car Venus 14. Now today we are going to be talking about the brand new 4-star and everyone's favorite opera singer, YunJin. That's right, now I did tell you guys I was going to roll on the banner today, and I did. As for why that video's not up, well, here's what happened. So, it turns out I was actually rolling on the banner, but in the excitement of rolling on the banner, I completely forgot to hit the record button. So, yes, as you can clearly see, I have Shen He as well, but if you guys can tell, I only have her level 50 right now. I want to try and... I am planning on making a guide on Shen He as well, but I am going to be making that guide once I get her up to level 90, because that way I'll be able to show my personal build on her much better. So, once I get her up to level 90, then I'll be able to make that video. But if you guys want to see what kind of strange, wondrous build I might be having on Shen He, then yeah, please do subscribe. But for now, we are going to be talking about our favorite dancer, YunJin. Now, we'll start off with getting to know YunJin more. Now, as you can see, I've only gotten YunJin up to level 60 out of 70. Now, I usually only take all my support characters up to 60 out of 70 just because I like them there. Just because I feel as though it's like the perfect balance of having a nice amount of damage while also, you know, saving some costs as well. And by the way, I also feel as though Ascension Phase 4 is all you really need for your characters, because you unlock the second passive at this point, and you also get your talents to level 6, which is actually before level 7, which is when you actually need to farm up world boss materials. And at that point, in my mind, it just gets a bit too expensive, so I usually just leave them here, and they still seem to do pretty well. Now, moving on, well, as we all know, YunJin is a Geo character, and she's a buffing unit. Now, how does she buff? Well, she buffs your attacks through the defense multiplier on her ultimate. Now, we'll get onto that in a small bit, but basically, what we're going to talk about are her passives. So her first passive, Light Nourishment. When perfect cooking is achieved, food with adventure-related effects, there is a 12% chance to obtain double the product. So basically, when you cook stamina food, you basically have a chance to get, you know, double the product. So yeah, that's quite nice. Then there's this one, which is using Opening Flourish at the precise moment when YunJin is attacked will unleash the level 2 charged form. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, don't worry, we will get to that. And then as for the last passive, this is the one that really makes YunJin quite strong. This is the passive that a lot of people were really excited about because, you know, it's such a very strong passive. However, in my opinion, this passive is really good, don't get me wrong, but you don't need to make it so that you run a rainbow composition. You can perfectly run, you know, 2 different resonances in the same comp. So, for example, my team composition for Shen He is going to be double cryo, double geo, and that's perfectly fine in my opinion. You don't need to go for the full, you know, 4 elemental rainbow comp. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. So Shen He, if you want to build her as a DPS, performs up to 5 consecutive spear strikes, and at level 1, it's actually not too high, as you could probably tell. Yeah, either not too high or okay. I'm not sure about the numbers with 4 stars. So yeah, but I believe this is below average. But yeah, as a buffing unit, you would expect Shen He to, you know, not Shen He, sorry, YunJin to not have a really high normal attack multiplier. Now, moving on to her actual elemental skill, which is her counter, which is why she resembles Beidou quite a bit. Now, she's got 2 versions of this form. She's got the tap version, which literally just basically she flourishes her polearm in a cloud grasping stance, dealing geo damage. So yeah, this is basically the normal version. When you tap it, she'll literally just swing her polearm out in a circle and do a huge area of effect geo damage. Then the hold variation is where it gets a bit more interesting. Now, the hold variation basically is initially, it's a shield that absorbs damage based off of Shen He's HP. As you can see here, the shield damage absorption is based off of Shen He's HP. So if you build more HP, you're going to be absorbing more damage, and YunJin will obviously be able to take more damage, meaning you know, you can effectively use her elemental skill like a shield, but I wouldn't really recommend it. So yeah, it's not the optimum way to play her. Now, number 2, number two, level 2 variation is basically the maximum charge. So when you hold the elemental skill down, you basically build up more energy slash take in more damage, right? And that basically unleashes a much huger area of effect slash AoE. So yeah, those are the two variations. Now, what's the main difference between the tap charge 1 and charge 2? Well, I don't really know too much, to be honest. The tap version, you literally just tap it. The hold variation, I'm presuming you only charge it up for like 1 or 2 seconds. And then the final charge, you charge it up for the full 3 seconds. I believe that's how it works. So yeah, now if you guys remember to this passive, if you do a perfect counter, exactly like with Beidou, you will automatically, instead of doing the tap variation of the skill, you will automatically do the full version, so the level 2 damage. And as you can see, the defense scaling is actually quite high. So yeah. Then we move on to probably one of the better skills that YunJin really has. Also, just to let you know, one quick cool quirk about this elemental skill is that YunJin's elemental skill can actually do a perfect counter or a maximum level damage at level 2 charge, even if she doesn't take any damage herself. So you know how with Beidou, you need to charge up your counter by taking a damage or taking in any attacks that deal damage to Beidou normally, and then she gets the maximum damage that she deals at level 2. Well, YunJin, unlike Beidou, can just stand there and charge herself up, a bit like, you know, a bit like a self-rechargeable battery. So YunJin actually has the ability to charge her own level 2 counter up, and she'll still deal the full damage. So even if YunJin doesn't take any damage herself, it still means that she can charge up her counter. So that's why running YunJin with like shield compositions is quite good. Well, it's not quite good, but you know what I mean. It's quite it's viable, basically. It's more viable than running Beidou with a shield composition. So yeah. Now what is it? I don't know if counters actually proc if you have a shield on. Again, I do have Beidou, but I don't use her. So again, do correct me if I'm wrong, if counters can be used even with shields up. But basically, to my understanding, it doesn't really make sense for a counter to work if you have a shield up, you know? So yeah, anyway, moving on to the ultimate, basically. The ultimate is when, basically, it initially deals AoE geo damage, but the flying flag formation is basically her ultimate. When normal attacks deal damage dealt to opponents, bonus damage will be dealt based on YunJin's current defense. So this is why you want to build a lot of defense on YunJin, because of this passive right here. So yeah. The effect of this skill will be cleared after a set duration or after being triggered a specific number of times. When a normal attack hits multiple opponents, the effect is triggered multiple times according to the number of opponents hit. The number of times that the effect is triggered is continued independently for each member of the party with flying cloud flag formation. So basically, when YunJin is in her ultimate form, or she procs her ultimate, basically she gives a buff to everyone in your party, and they will deal increased normal attack damage based off of YunJin's defense. Now, at level 6, this is 45%, which is actually not a bad increase. I believe at level 8, this is around, what is it? 52%, or I think 53% maybe. I'm not so sure, but it's something like that at level 8. At level 10, if you do crown this skill, this will give you a full 59/60% defense bonus. So yeah, it is really strong. Now, the number of stacks that you give is said here by the trigger quota, so 30. Basically, what this means is you can attack up to a maximum of 30 times in order to basically have this bonus. But once you use all 30 stacks up, you won't have the bonus anymore. Yeah. So if you're using characters with wide AoE attacks, like Claymore users, then you are going to use the stacks a little bit more, because you're going to be hitting the opponents a lot more. So yeah, however, if you're running characters like single target damage users, like bow characters, for example, in fact, Yoimiya is a very good example. Yoimiya and YunJin could be very, very strong because of this, because Yoimiya is a single target DPS. All bow characters are a single target DPS. So that's why they can be really, really good, because they can make use of the ultimate the most, because they don't run through the stacks as quickly. So yeah, that's why they're really, really good. And it only has an energy cost of 60, which is actually on the cheaper side compared to the recent releases we've actually been getting. So yeah. Now with that, YunJin's talents are out of the way, so now you guys have a clear understanding, or you should have. If you don't, I'm probably not very good at explaining the character, but anyway, moving on. Now we'll talk about her constellations. So, Constellation 1, Thespian Gallop. So, this constellation is okay. What it does is, basically, opening Flourish's cooldown is decreased by 80%. So, what this cooldown basically does, what this constellation basically does is, it decreases her elemental skills cooldown by 1.5 seconds. So, usually, I believe it's around 9 seconds. Yeah, it's 9 seconds. But then when you have this constellation, it becomes 7.5 seconds, which is okay. It's actually okay. It's not too bad. But it isn't really worth pulling for, you know what I mean? So, yeah, however, her C2, right, her C2 is pretty strong. It's, in my opinion, one of her best constellations. So, yeah, her C2, which is Myriad Mise Unseen. After Cliffbreaker's banner is unleashed, all nearby party members' normal attack damage is increased by 15% for 12 seconds. Now, basically, when you use YunJin's ultimate, everyone in your party's normal attacks are increased again by a further 15%. So on top of the defense percent bonus that you're getting, you also get 15% increased normal attack damage for 12 seconds, which is the full duration of her ultimate. So that's really strong. Constellation 3 increases her ultimate skill level by 3, which is really nice because that means more defense bonus scaling. Her Constellation 4, basically when YunJin triggers a crystallized reaction, so basically when her Geo element reacts with any of the other elements apart from Anemo and Geo itself, it will basically increase her defense by 20% for 12 seconds. So if you effectively activate this, right, at first, and then actually, no, if you can use this to activate on your ultimate, then you're basically increasing your defense by 20%, which is therefore increasing your character's normal attack damage through the ultimate. So again, really strong constellation. And then this one, characters under the effect of the Flying Cloud formation have their normal attack speed increased by 12%. Now that's really strong because attack speed is meaning increased DPS. Now, the more DPS you can get out, the more damage you can deal. So that's why it's really, really lovely. Also, her C5 is just increasing her counter to, you know, level, well, by 3 levels, basically. So, yeah. Now, we'll move on to her artifact. Now, as you can see, I've got a 4-piece Husk of Opulent Dreams. Now, this set is the best because... This is the best set because... it gives her defense, and it also gives her geo damage bonus. And the better part is, this set is really good for characters that are off-field most of the time. And because you're in this build, you're using YunJin as an off-field support, this set works perfectly for her. So, from the set alone, she'll gain an increased 54% defense and 24% geo damage bonus. Now, as you can see, I still have some work to do with the actual artifacts themselves, but the main pieces I've leveled up. Well, obviously not this one. This one I got 2 defense rolls, so that's really nice. What you're mainly looking for in your artifact sets, by the way, is defense percent. Crit rate and crit damage are nice as well, but they're obviously nice on any character. But if you can, obviously focus on defense. Now, I got defense percent here with absolutely atrocious, there we go, atrocious substats. Here, again, defense percent with some energy recharge, so definitely this is okay, I'll take it. And this is another defense percent, timepiece with crit rate and crit damage, so this one's actually not too bad. The timepiece could definitely use some work, but yeah, if you guys don't want to farm the 4 set, because 4 sets are very, very annoying to farm for, then you can go either 2 set Husk of Opulent Dreams, or another set I'm seeing people recommend is 2 set Emblem of Severed Fate for the energy recharge, if you're not building any energy recharge on YunJin. Or you could go something like 2 set Husk of Opulent Dreams and 2 set Archaic Petra, because that's quite nice as well, because the Archaic Petra set, if I actually have a piece, Archaic Petra set basically increases your geo damage bonus by 15%, so that's also quite nice. So yeah, you could possibly also use the full 4-piece of Archaic Petra, but the problem is you will need to collect the crystallized reaction crystal shards that are dropped with YunJin herself, so you get the elemental damage buff, and it's only for 1 element that you actually put on, so you can't actually use the damage buff for all the other elements. So yeah. Now, moving on to weapons. Now, the weapon I actually went for is the Kitane Cross Spear. Now, the weapons that you guys can go for, you can go for the Favonius Lance. As you can see, I don't have a lot of weapons. The Dragon's Bane was one that she was featured with quite a bit, which could work quite well, actually, if you're running like a Hydro or a Pyro team. Staff of Homer could be quite good on her if you have that lying around. Basically, Skyward Spine could work well on her as well. Engulfing Lightning. I'm not sure if Engulfing Lightning would work. No, but then again, it boosts her attack. But then again, boosting your attack will also boost your other elemental skills. So I guess it could work, definitely. But the reason I choose Kitane Cross Spear is because, number one, the base attack is actually quite nice, 556, which is the highest out of all of the 4-star weapons, I believe. The elemental mastery is 110, so that means, you know, stronger crystallized reaction shards, which is nice. But the main reason I'm going for the weapon is because of this passive right here. It increases elemental skill damage by 6%. Now, majority of the damage that YunJin is going to be doing actually comes from her elemental skill. So the fact that this can just boost elemental skill damage for free is really, really nice. And the best part is this weapon is free to play. So if you guys don't have a suitable weapon for YunJin and you got really unlucky, let's say on the weapons, just go and craft this if you have any, you know, Polearm prototype billets. I know I always want Polearm prototype billets, but it's the only billet which I seem to get the least amount of. In fact, I've only got 2 right now. So yeah, and of course, the main reason why you go for the Kitane Cross Spear is because it matches. I mean, it just look at it. The purple and the purple, it matches perfectly. So, yeah. Basically, guys, I'm going to try and do a showcase now. And, basically, you see these hilichurls behind me. I'm going to show you all how much damage... Before we do actually do that, hopefully I don't kill my YunJin. Oh, I don't. Okay. Yeah. Now, before I do show you my damage, as you can see, my defense isn't that high. It's 1,600. So it's not amazing. You can definitely get around 2,000. You can definitely get 2,000, oh, Discord. You can definitely get about 2,000, defense if you actually go all the way to 90. But like I said, for me, personally, that's a little bit too much. So, yeah, especially for a support character. So, we're gonna go and, find these hilichurls over here. And, I'll show you how the counter works. Now, if you just do the tap variation, which we're gonna do now... 2,700 damage, right? Which is okay. It's not amazing. It's not horrendous, right? And then we're gonna come back. That was, I believe that was a level 1, I think. I'm not sure, but 3,200. So it was definitely more than last time. So I believe it was level 1. There we go. That was 5,100. You guys saw that 5,100 with level 2, but that wasn't crit. So if I try and crit... Observe. No, that was wrong timing completely. However, as you can see, I'm already got my burst without any energy recharge. Okay, no, I don't have enough crit rate. Hold on. Dodge this. Right, I got cryo passive. I will get this. I still didn't get it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get this. Trust me, guys. This is really inefficient, I know. 3,200. That's the wrong one. Oh my god. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna charge it up. Hold on, I'm just gonna charge it up. That would be a very smart idea. That was 5,100 again, not critting. Ugh, come on, crit, please. Freeze. 6,000, basically nearly 7,000. Nearly 7,000. 190 there, right? Was that crit? Yeah, that was crit, right? And now we'll see how much our elemental burst does. 584. 48, sorry. So you guys can see how much damage YunJin's burst actually does. So we went from 190 without her burst, right, to 548/42, right? So you can see how good she really is. And when you crit, even with this build, 7,000, obviously it isn't amazing, right? Oh, excuse me. Obviously, that's not amazing, but you can actually hit ridiculously high numbers with YunJin. Now, obviously, my showcase isn't perfect, so I definitely recommend going out there and seeing other people's showcases on YunJin just to see how amazing she can definitely hit. You can definitely get around 2,500 defense with her, but like I said, I'm a bit of a broke man, and that's just too much for me. Besides, I don't really need all of that. I mean, look, I've got Zhongli, I've got Geo-Resonance. So, in all honesty, it's okay, personally. So, yeah. And let's not forget, well, actually, we'll talk about my personal team in another video. But for right now, that will be the end of the video. Anyway, guys, I have been Carvenus14 and still am. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, this may have been a long video just because I keep waffling really, I genuinely waffle a lot. And it's a very bad habit of mine. So if you do get tired of these really long videos, just tell me in the comments below, like, Venus, please stop. We don't want to hear you ramble on about your day, like, you know, I don't know. And there I go again, rambling on. So yeah, please do tell me, guys, if I am rambling on a little bit too much. But anyway, I have been Carvenus14 and still am. And I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.